Hey guys, I'm Emily. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I painted these 3 color studies of sunsets with watercolor. Check out the description below this video for a complete list of my supplies. If you're looking for painting ideas and maybe want to explore some of the brighter colors in your watercolor set, doing small studies of different colored sunsets is a great way to start. Each painting has the potential to reflect a unique color harmony, focal point, and atmosphere, and the result is just so much fun. My reference photos today are just stock images I purchased, but of course you can create your own beautiful sunset using your own reference photos, or without a guide at all, just create something from your imagination. Whenever I start a sky painting, I almost always wet the paper first, so my first layer of color will nicely blend together. For my yellow sunset, I mix up a rich, warm yellow, starting at the top. I'm using a large size 10 round brush. I avoid the area where the glowing sun will be and just dab the paint around a white circle. While the paint is still wet, I stick the round end of my brush into a piece of paper towel and gently scrub out a sun. I darken the sky with a richer yellow, then use a clean, damp brush to lift paint around the sun. I continue to blend and to add rich, darker streaks of orange and yellow paint. Keep in mind that with watercolor, you have to plan ahead for where your lightest areas will be so that you can paint around those areas. The bottom portion of this painting will be the water, so I paint darker values all around where my sun's reflection will go. I use more pointed, sideways brush strokes to represent the water's ripples. For the red painting, I again start by wetting the paper first. I start with the brilliant bright yellow in the top left corner. I paint the hazy area of the bottom half, wet into wet, with a gentle side-to-side brush stroke. To keep my colors pure, I always rinse my brush before grabbing a new color. I'm working quickly because I want the red, yellow, and gray to blend together while everything is still wet. The red bled into the yellow a little too much, so I used a damp brush to lift some of that color back out. I use a darker red color to outline the sky behind the distant mountain and to outline the shape of the billowy cloud just below the mountain. I'm adding in some dark gray to the cloud shape, being careful to preserve the fluffy, light-colored outline of that shape. I darken the foggy suggestion of water beneath the cloud and then blend it towards the bottom with watered-down paint. I touch up the clouds with a dark red color until I'm happy with the value and shape. I want the yellow to be a little brighter, so I add some more rich paint to the bright yellow of the sky. My purple sunset also begins with a light wash of clean water. Then I drop in a light purple and a little bit of a pinkish purple and a touch of yellow. I want to preserve the luminous area in the sky and the water, so I'm careful to start with very light washes. While it's still wet, I drop in some more pigmented purples and pinks into the sky and using the point of my round brush, I add bright pink and purple cloud streaks. I'm adding another layer of watered down pink and purple, then bring in a really dark, deep purple to paint a vignette around the bottom corners. This gives it that really cool fisheye effect. Just be patient and keep working in layers. Try not to use too much water or everything will wash together and you won't be able to control your shapes. While that's drying, I can come back to the yellow sunset and add some streaks of orange clouds. This painting ended up being really high key, and I love it when a landscape looks like it could just blind you if you stare directly at the sun. It means you're doing your job as an artist. I'm careful to leave some lighter clouds in the sky, painting darker yellow around them. To paint the mountain silhouette, I use an orangey brownish color, and using a paper towel, gently pull out a little of the paint in the middle where the sun is shining directly over it. For the water, I use the wet on dry technique, which is wet paint on dry paper, carefully leaving the sun's reflection untouched. The red sunset just needs some final touches. I use a dark red to paint the details of the distant mountain range, again being really careful to preserve the edge of the cloud, which is backlit by the setting sun. For the dark foreground silhouette, I use my size 8 round brush, and the color I'm using is called Neutral Tint. I really like this for silhouettes. The final touch for this painting is to just add a little bit of a darker value to that beautiful hazy valley. My purple sunset is now dry enough to add a vibrant pink streak to the sky. Once I'm happy with the sky, I finish up the water, continuing to vignette the lake with light washes of red and purple. A line of purple articulates the horizon line for me. I had to do a lot of blending to keep my cloud strokes from bleeding too much. After this dries, I add the land silhouette using a small size 1 round brush. And I add some dark purple ripples, keeping my values darker, closer to the land, and watering it down more towards the luminous center of the lake.
To the rhythm of the violent breeze.
The last juicy detail is the little person in the canoe, and one more layer of color on the water. This was so much fun to paint. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about painting sunsets or if you have suggestions for any other videos you'd like to see. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. I'll be posting new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and be sure to tell your friends if they're interested in learning watercolor. Thanks so much for stopping by.